Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Are you ready? Let's get it. Yes, peace and blessings and keep up the lessons. This is your brother Taalib from the Brother Taalib Show. And, before we get into, just let you know that I'm here trying to bring clarification with this guy here, Afridamus. And, I just gotta bring it. I know people probably like, why do you do so many videos for this guy? Because it's very serious matter. It's not something to take lightly. And this is just not my point of view. This is just a facts. Because we see how things go from where you just talking this about people's faith and then it gets way out of hand. And this has been going on in other chats. I mean, other, YouTube content creators, platforms. And it's got out of hand. Stuff is getting really bad. And there's just enough discord. There's enough dissension between the people trying to bring us together. We're trying to come together to get people awoke and to go back to Africa. And if you're not, then to build, cooperative economics, all these types of things. Speaking of such, I was on a panel with this brother named Bomani. Forgive me if I'm, mispronounced his name. Bomani, I think it is. And he's Pan-Africanist, and I know I profess I'm not. But on the level of coming together and trying to do and build and educate our people to go into that mindset and doing something for yourself, getting yourself out of your situation, then that's what we need to do. This is what I thought this guy was all about. But, okay, maybe he's just coming at the religions in an ignorant manner. He just doesn't think that he's wrong in what he's doing and how he goes about it. But there's a way you go about it, and that's the point. But I just have to get on it. So anyway, this video might be a little longer than the others, but I'm going to touch on a few things that are very important to touch on because of the faith has been misconcepted by him as he's been taught, whoever he studied with and people who he took from. And I would like to even question that to him. So let's go.
I'm just telling you, the Arjana that they preach to me, right? Because, okay, if you go to that heaven,
the Jannah that they preached to him. So now he's just going on what he took from that which they gave him on his own. He didn't probably go into asking questions, and he can answer that himself. And I would say, hey, bro, Afridamus, get me on your show, and we can debate this within a respectable manner, without slandering each other, without cussing and going off like some of the other people's panels and YouTube streams, okay, about all these types of issues that come about and the bickering back and forth between the ideology of black consciousness or raising of people up into whatever knowledge that they need to know for black people, people of color, African descendant, or so forth. Going this bickering that's been going back and forth, the different groups, Pan-Africanists, FBA, ADOS, and whoever else. I'm beyond that. I'm way beyond, because Islam puts me beyond it. You understand what I'm saying? So, but when you come in at my faith, that which is my life, it's my life, then I have a problem with you. So basically, I'm asking you, what's going on? Why are you doing this? What's the reason? What is the benefit? Where is the benefit for us out of this?
you have 72 virgins, for instance, because that's the promise. 72 virgins, and they have.
That's the promise that is for particular people, not just for anybody. You cannot get Jannah if you're a sinner and you die a sinner. You have to go to you're going to Jahannam, which is the hellfire, eternal torment. That's what, as a Muslim, even if you're Muslim, you're going to go there first. Non-Muslim, somebody who hasn't believed in Allah as one and worshipped Him as one, and they join partners with Allah and shirk, then the hellfire will be for them forever. This is understood by the faiths that even preceded, or went before Islam, with the same message of worshiping the one and only true deity worthy of worship. And we call him Allah in the Arabic language, and in Hebrew is Yahweh or Elohim. There's different ways that they say his name, and then Christianity, just with the English language that had dominated the belief eventually, because especially with the English people and the people who spoke the English, was forced upon the people throughout the world, and is called God. You have different names for the Creator, even in African tradition, spiritual tradition, of a high spirit, a being that is highly powerful than any other gods. And even in Egyptian, their way, they have a higher God over the other gods. But in Islam, we don't enjoin those partnerships of any other gods under the one deity that is worthy of worship. And this is called Tawheed. So those other teachings came with those beliefs, but not what you're bringing to say. What you're talking about is only from your mentality and your point of view, not from the guidance of Islam altogether. And some of the stuff is just mixed up. But anyway, let's let him go.
Are all going to be Arab. This is
and he says they're all going to be Arab. That's another fallacy. That there's nowhere in the Quran which is the word of Allah, which is the guidance of Islam, and in the hadiths and the Prophet saying that the Arabs are going to be the only ones in Jannah. Well, you have to be an Arab, because he's trying to make a point and a connection with, like he spoke about the women that was not in, no black woman was in Jannah, according to what he was taught, but what he interpreted from that which he was taught, that there was no black women. Who said that? Did Allah say that? There was no black women, there was no Native Americans, or there was no Asian women, or there was no other different types of nationality? Allah says Nas, talking about mankind. And the mankind that is going to go into Jannah is the one who believes in Him as one, and submitted to Him. And that's a Muslim. Muslim means the one who submits to the only true deity worthy of worship. Like Abraham. Ibrahim was a Muslim. His cousin who traveled with him, teaching the same teachings of the one God, they were Muslim. Noah was a Muslim. Moses or Musa was a Muslim. Isa, Jesus, was Muslim. As far as the understanding, they submitted to this one God, and that's what they teach. Now, all the other religions in the world that is outside of Tawheed, outside of the oneness, outside of monotheism, of course they're going to have misunderstandings and contradictions of what they're bringing, because they don't bring the proper understanding of it, because they don't understand it. They don't know it, and they don't have a reason to want to know it, because all they think about is their gods. Just like one prophet had to go up against the pagan Arabs in his time, his people. They were pagan idol worshippers. They had several gods in the Kaaba, which is now has been removed for all these times since the Prophet's time, and Islam came to Arabia, and he brought it, and they finally went to Mecca in the conquest of Mecca, and they went, and without force, without killing not one person, and eventually went into the Kaaba and removed all those gods, and didn't have no gods in there but to know that that place was the place of worship that was established by Abraham and his
specific. They are
son.
going to be.
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm going on a little bit, but this is very serious. So I'm going to let it go again some more.
That color, Arab. So I have the conversation. I asked the question. I said, okay, I get it. People say it's religion. But don't you think Africans, we should start thinking, how come, everything, like you can't even enter heaven black. They have to change you to a lighter color for you to enter heaven.
Incorrect. There's no place. Now, that's the point. You have to bring proof and evidence. You have to show me in the Quran. You saying this imam, and this is what he said in his video. If I skipped over, forgive me. But he mentioned, because I don't want to keep going back, the time is running out, that in imam, which is the leader of the Muslims congregation of whatever part of the world they may be in or whatever people they may be from, who is the leader of that congregation in that area, in that place where they have the masjid, the place of worship, then he's the leader and he teaches them about their faith, and he leads the men and even the women when they come to the masjid in prayer and so forth. So this imam that he's talking about, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask him a question. Afridamus, did the imam tell you to do what you're doing now? Did he say, okay, what I'm telling you, you can go and go ahead and do videos talking with your interpretation, not what I told you, but what you perceive and what you think it should be about what the religion should be, or what, as you said, Shaitan should have said to Allah. You using your own opinion to make and like what you believe a religion should be. Religion has been way before your time, way before your some of our ancestors' time. That was brought to the world. And you're gonna come on a YouTube video platform and say what you think the belief should be, when you should be worrying about yourself. You should be worrying about COVID and not getting sick from it. You should be worrying about making sure you clean yourself right when you leave the bathroom before you get a disease from it. You should be worrying about traveling in an area where you can be in danger from people or somebody robbing you. You should be worrying about if you have children or any in your family, giving them some guidance to learn to protect themselves, or to learn to be aware of their surroundings as well, or to learn to navigate through the earth so that they can benefit. Learn to teach them about, like you're talking about, why are you spending time getting into people's beliefs when you can be spending time educating the people to learn about what you're doing. Do some videos about teaching the people to do what you're doing, going around and trying to bring knowledge about things, but do this in a better way, because what you're doing here is not helping. So I will close out with that, and the rest of the videos I will be following, of course, because I gotta get through this, and I get into my tangent because it's very serious. And may Allah guide him, Allahumma ameen, and any of you who follow behind him and take from him and listen to him, and if you think that what he's saying is right when you don't even use any of your own mental frame of thinking in your own mind, and go with your due diligence and find out and bring some proof and evidences that he hasn't brought. He hasn't brought the Quran and revealed and said this is what it says here, but he goes off of someone else says to him, not even realizing maybe that Imam don't know that much that better. He might have brought something that what he was told from someone in his family, or he may have misinterpreted it himself. But Afridamus, did you do any research to find that what he said and to check it thoroughly before you got on YouTube and put yourself out there? Because now it's out. And you got to me. Not just me. I'm sure plenty of other Muslims, the Muslims that went up on the panel with you. And even the sister said to you, you need to study, basically, with her words that she used. You need to learn before you come on and you start speaking. Because you made a lot of errors, bro. A lot. And you're continuously going to do it because the arrogance is on your back. The shaitan brings arrogance to us. Do you know that? The devil, the beast, our egos, pushing that up to the top and thinking that we know what we're doing and we know well. You got to make sure you know well after the fact of proving that it's going to be a good outcome. It's not a good outcome right now. So that's all I'm going to say. I went a little bit too long, but I said this video is going to go a little longer. Appreciate you listening. Click the like button for the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and share it out. And, until next time, the next one, peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. Your brother Taalib from the Brother Taalib Show. I'm out.